Hi guys, good morning. Today is day 2 of my 21-day challenge. Yesterday we spoke about how, in spite of every year, at least on the 31st, making commitments and resolutions to ourselves to have a healthier life and to embark on some sort of health program. Invariably, the beginning of the new year sees us falling off the wagon almost immediately. Now, yesterday for a lot of you might have been a holiday, but being the 1st of January, but today is the 2nd, and a lot of people are back to work, back to school, back to routine lives. And today would be the day when you're most likely to say, not today, let me just get my stuff in order and I'll do it tomorrow. I've decided to go to the gym. I've not gone to pay for it as yet, but I will do it tomorrow, today evening, when my work is all done. And this is the time when things start to unravel. Now, I was just thinking about it yesterday as to now everybody, including me, and I'm pretty passionate about keeping myself fit and working out every day because of various reasons. A lot of people have very valid reasons why they feel they cannot start a wellness program. I used to think of them as excuses, but often as an outsider, I can feel it's an excuse because that reason doesn't apply to me. But it definitely is very real to you. I've had people come to me many years ago when we were taking aerobics classes. That was in my much younger days, and when aerobics was very much in vogue. People used to miss class for a week or a week and a half. And I was, of course, much younger. I didn't have a family or a kid or anything like that to bother about. And I wasn't taking care of the home. My mom used to run the house, basically. I was living with my parents. So they used to come in and I would find them missing for 5 or 6 days. And when they would come back, I'd be like, where have you been? And they'd say, oh, my mother-in-law was in town. She was visiting and I couldn't come for a workout. And I just didn't understand it. I honestly couldn't understand it. I was like, what does that even mean? What has the mother-in-law got to do with the working out? But as time has gone by and as I run my own home now, you realize that when you have visitors, they don't live with you, you have visitors, it does disrupt your schedule a little bit. You end up looking after everybody's needs, and when you have more people in the house, obviously the needs are more and the demands are more. So invariably, you either can't find the time or you have to leave the house at 10 a.m. to reach somewhere at 10:30, and 10 a.m. happens to be their breakfast time or something like that. It's happened to me also, and only much later when I started running my own home and I was now responsible for the people who inhabited the house, did I realize that there were so many things that we really can't shrug off. You can't shrug it off. You can't just say, you handle breakfast, I'm going by, it's my class. So many factors come into play there. Do you have, hi Shraddha, good morning. Do you have commitments that you perhaps can't get out of and that gets in your way? Or do you have commitments that you can get out of, but you don't know how to set your boundaries so that you can get out of them? Are you confused as to what's more important to you? And like for instance, this very same lady, for instance, if she told me that she has a target at the end of the month and she wants to lose, okay, at that time we were not talking about health, we were talking about weight loss. So she wanted to lose 5 kilos, say by the end of 3 months or by the end of 1 month. And she's taken 7 days off because she had in-laws visiting. Now, that's not aligned to her own priorities. When she comes back, she's going to come back in another 5 days time and get frustrated because she's not showing the results, not realizing that she herself deprioritized her own health and wellness. Now, after all these years, I've realized that it's not a simple matter of I did not attend class, therefore I have not lost the weight that I wanted to lose, blah, blah, blah. I always tell my clients that weight loss is a side effect of being healthy. It is not the goal. It's not the purpose. The idea is that if you have parameters of fitness that you're supposed to tick off when you're doing your fitness or health routine, whatever it is, weight loss is a side effect of all of those. It isn't even one of those parameters. So we'll talk about those sometime in the future, probably not today. Today, my desire to talk to you is about what reasons you give yourself, what reasons exist in your world for not being able to embark upon or commit to some sort of health program for yourself, be it yoga, be it meditation, be it a daily workout, be it a walk, be it the ability to prepare your meals in advance so that you actually are able to eat healthy no matter what the circumstances might be. So what is it that you feel is your speed breaker in your health routine? As you're joining in and as you're watching live, please do leave a comment below so I can answer that question. Maybe there's something that we can do to change or help you to get on to the fitness program that you want. Okay, so I have a list of things that I have heard as reasons for not being able to do this. I will join the gym, but 3 months from now. Why 3 months from now? Because in 2 weeks from now, I'm leaving for a vacation and I'm gone for 2 weeks. And then I come back and then I've got to set up the whole house again. Then my kid has exams. Then after that, I will join the gym. Why? I don't want to pay for 3 months right now and not attend. So again, from the perspective of the gym trainer, it makes no sense at all. But from the perspective of a person who's putting money in to enroll and is expecting a certain kind of results, it's very valid. Why would I invest that kind of money and not, if I'm not going to be attending? So if there are any reasons like these in your mind that are valid to you and you feel that I've been told that this is an excuse. My gym instructor told me, na, bahana hai, bahane mat banao. But, and is very valid to you, please let me know so we can talk about it. So, yeah, so today's assignment, so to speak, if you did attend yesterday, was to be that you have to show up. That's what we talked about yesterday, that instead of trying to aim for doing a lot or taking a big chunk and saying I will work out every day for an hour starting today immediately and I will continue and sustain. It's a bit unrealistic because obviously if you were going to do that so easily you would have probably done it by now. But instead of that, I said we got to break it down to the smallest denominator, which would be to show up. So if you're facing any difficulties, being consistent or sticking to any kind of fitness or diet routine, what is it that you can do that is the smallest goal, achievable goal? The smallest would be to show up. So today's assignment was going to be that all I need for you to do is to find your exercise mat, find your shoes and sit down on it, even for just 5 minutes, so that it indicates to yourself, to your unconscious mind and to the universe that you're very, very serious about doing this. Even if you do just that, excuse me, even if you do just that for a week and nothing else, that in itself will tell your mind that you're not going to quit this. You're very serious about it. It's not optional. So the main problem there at that time when that lady was telling me about her in-laws visiting was that in her head, this was an optional thing. It was one of the things that in her list of priorities was not so high and could be eliminated for something that unconsciously she considered more important. Why she considered that to be more important is a deep discussion which we will not have today. It could be related to needing approval, to having feelings of judgment towards oneself. So she had to constantly be the best mother-in-law or the daughter-in-law, the best daughter, the best wife, the best mother. People do that. They drive themselves a lot. And that little pocket of time where you talk about being the best you comes way after all of that. So, and believe me, that list of things that is more important than you will never end. It never does. So, so the reason for her to do that was probably multifaceted, and we could analyze it, but I'm not going to get into that right now. My point is, if you're going to tell yourself that this is something that is non-negotiable to me, it doesn't matter how long it is. It doesn't matter how much time you put into it. What matters is that you are present there in the moment. It's easy for your mind to feel that this is not really serious. I don't really need to do this today. I can do it tomorrow. I have much more important things to do today, because there is a chance that we feel that this is something that we can easily skip. It's just an accessory. Like, we will have people who will tell us that, oh, going for a class or going to the gym, are there more important things for you to do with your time? Hi Pooja, good morning, welcome. But my question to you is, are there any more important things to do in life, in the world, than your own physical health? Can you do anything else if your health is not cooperating with you? That's my dog, she's wandering around as usual. Often sit, honey. So, I don't think there's anything more important. I don't think there's any way on earth that I can be of any contribution or help to the world, to my home, to my family, to my child, to myself, to my career, if my health doesn't support me. And by health, I don't mean a couple of inches on your belt. I mean your health. So when we talk about fitness, when we talk about eating healthy, when we talk about living healthy, it's not about looking a certain way or being, a model figure or size 0 or anything like that. Because believe me, it doesn't take 1.5 hours in the gym every day to make you fitter than you are today. 5 minutes of contribution to your own self will have a cascading effect, like we talked about yesterday, into everything else in your life. So you wake up in the morning, you decide, no matter what happens, I wake up at 6:15, today I will wake up at 6 a.m, I will get my shoes on, I will find my mat and I will sit on it. And that day I'm going to meditate on how I decide that I am important. Or as a popular brand says, I'm worth it. That's all you need. Everybody else might not even be awake at the time. All you've done is sacrifice 15 minutes of your own sleep. You sit down there and you say, I'm worth it today. This is my contribution, my investment in my health. So that day, all you might accomplish may be just you centering yourself and you putting out an intention to the universe that you're going to take good care of yourself today. What that's going to do, just that little action, is going to put a reminder into your unconscious mind that you care about yourself. When you reach for the chips, you might think twice. You might start thinking that it's time today that I contribute a little more to myself. Maybe I can take the time out to make myself a boiled egg as opposed to eating something oily or medu vada or whatever it is that's easily available. It will tune you to putting yourself first. And it's not eating into anything else, right? Because it's not interfering with any other schedule. That can also become 6 a.m. and that can become 5:45 a.m. and that will be then half an hour. And that half an hour will be yours because, again, it's not interfering in anybody else's schedule. It's not undoable. It's absolutely doable. And that's when you start talking about inserting a workout or a couple of Surya Namaskars. So whatever it is that you feel is your workout of choice. I don't personally think that it is right to allow yourself any excuses at all where your health is concerned. It's not a matter, if you say to me that I need to exercise every day, for me it's not a question of if you do it. The question is how you do it. If is off the table. So you can't say, should I or should I not work out today? That's not the question. The question is, how should I work out today? Why am I repeatedly saying work out, work out, work out? Because your diet alone is not enough to give you the health benefits that a very short workout can give you. Yes, you can correct your diet. Yes, your diet is probably, it could be very unhealthy and you could cut out sugar and you can cut out soda and you can cut out a lot of things that are absolutely not needed and might be causing you harm on a daily basis. But once you've done that, the benefits of exercise are so much more that you must insert that into your day. You must. Lowering of blood pressure, resetting your insulin system. We will talk about that at length one of these days, because having your hormonal system out of whack can be it can cause anybody to completely topple over and derail from their whatever their fitness plans may be. Starts as small as PMS and can grow as big as diabetes and PCOS eventually, and infertility. So that's like one chain that we can discuss in a day or two. And that can't just be corrected by fixing your diet. It can, to an extent, but the contribution of the diet to that is like 10%, and 90% comes from the physical activity that you add into your day. And most of us choose to drop the physical activity immediately because they think it's an intrusion on their space and their rest and their time and their entertainment and whatever else that may be going on in their life during the day. But what I would like to say is that it's not like that. It doesn't need to be one giant chunk of time that you have to put in, otherwise it's absolutely useless to you. It's not like that at all. 5 minutes is better than no exercise at all, and hugely effective. You don't even need to do an entire class. You don't need to do an entire stint at the gym. You just need to contribute 5 minutes. So after yesterday talking about just showing up, today I want to talk about just 5 minutes. 5 minutes of your time. No excuses. What do you choose to do? The question is not if you take those 5 minutes out. The question is, when you do, how do you do what you do? So in those 5 minutes, what do you plan to do? Do you plan to just focus on lowering your blood pressure, lowering your stress levels by meditating? Do you plan to strengthen your system and strengthen your core by doing a plank? Do you plan to strengthen your upper body by doing push-ups? Do you plan to... My current project is doing pull-ups. I haven't done pull-ups the right way for years since I was a dancer. You take your upper body strength for granted a lot when you're a dancer. You don't realize that because it was just so easy. It's not so easy anymore. So that's my current project. So every day is like 1 minute of just hanging from that pull-up rod, because these are muscles that your body was meant to use. We were designed to climb. We were designed to walk long distances. We were designed to carry stuff for miles before we got back to our caves or whatever it was when we were, cavemen. So we are not meant to just sit at a desk. It doesn't do well for our systems at all. Forget about the sugar and the additives and the wheat and the grains and everything that's been added, or dairy that's been added to our diet since then. That's playing havoc with our systems already. Physically, what is our body designed to do? Our body is designed to climb things. And where is the upper body strength? It's not there. How many people do you know who complain about slip discs and weak backs? It's a weak back. It's a weak core. A slip disc at the end of it all is a end product of having a very, very weak core which you have not done anything with for years. So maybe the first thing to do is strengthen your core. I often tell my clients that it's like you have suppose you're traveling with a lot of valuable china, cups, saucers, tea, whatever, a nice lovely dinner set with a gold trim, and you're going to have to take it somewhere with you in a suitcase, right? And are you going to just throw it in the suitcase and carry it along? No. You pad it really well. You would make sure that it's got blankets on either side so that everything is packed neatly, so that when you move it, it doesn't move. It's held nice and tight and compact. That section, the blankets, the padding, is your core muscles. That is what protects your spinal column. I don't think there's anything more important in your system than your brain and your spinal column. It protects that, and it protects your internal organs. Now, if that area is loose and disorganized, it's just crumpled anyhow, would it do the same job as something which is neatly aligned, neatly arranged, so that it holds everything in and supports it? It would not. So the reason why you would do core activities every day is that it is going to support your entire, the entire bank that you have in your body, that is the most important part of your body, which is your internal organs and your spine. Those areas we don't work on ever. And believe me, when I say work on your core, I do not mean crunches. I don't mean spinal flexions of any kind. I mean working on your core. I mean you're teaching your body that first it needs to lift its own weight well and be supported. Believe me, there are people who will be in the gym. and be able to work out for hours. But if you tell them to hold a plank for 5 minutes, they can't do it. What does that mean? That means your accessory, your external muscles, your aesthetic muscles are able to do something like lifting a barbell or lifting dumbbells just for that period of time. But when it comes to supporting yourself, your own weight, you're not able to do it at all. So what is that going to lead to? Do you know of anybody who's joined the gym, who's probably worked out for years but has a slip disc? I think there are a lot of those, because your upper body is completely built, but your spine, your core, your abdominal muscles and your legs can't support you worth a damn. So it's going to lead to an imbalance in your system. So let's not talk about external accessories and external aesthetic appearance right now. Let's talk about internal strength, because that's what's most important. That or everything else can be built on top of that. Everybody needs to be strong on the inside, both emotionally and physically. So being strong on the inside would probably mean that all you do is dedicate a little time to working on your core muscles. So if you've gotten past the 5 minutes on a mat, I can do this every day without an interruption from anybody. Then the question is, what do you do for those 5 minutes on that mat? So I propose, and this is something you can look up on the net, and in a few days' time we'll be doing it together. You can just go on a plank on your elbows, start with a minute, start with 10 seconds, whatever you can hold. And make sure that you connect with your core muscles and understand that you and your body have to work together as a team. You support each other. So your contribution, 5 minutes a day, is going to lead to a lot of growth, a lot of progress in different areas of your life, not necessarily to do with your waistline. You will realize that when you make a decision to do something, you follow through, and that will cause a lot of reprioritization in your own world. You do this every day, and then the in-laws visit, and then you realize that, you know what, so I do have to do this little extra bit of stuff for them, but instead of eliminating this altogether, maybe I can only do 3 minutes. Hi Shweta, how are you? I'll just do 5 minutes, and 5 minutes is not going to bother anybody. If you just ask your people that I'm going to make you breakfast at 10:05 instead of 10 a.m. You've got your plank in, and that's enough to, it's like a salute to your system to remind it that, okay, things are a little busy right now, but I'm not abandoning you. I'm with you through this journey, and we're going to pull through this together. So if you can visit and be with me every day for 21 days and do the same for yourself every day for 21 days, chances are it will eventually become a habit, and habits become addictions. You will miss the workout. You will miss the feeling you get of control and stability. You'll miss the feeling of the salute to yourself. I'm here for you. And when that happens, then the whole thing becomes effortless. Then you don't have to force yourself to go to the gym or force yourself to work out. In fact, you'll have to force yourself to stay away. People will say you're going away for a vacation. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Now, when you are away and you're traveling, there are a billion things that you can do that don't involve the gym or a class or anything at all. You could do them barefoot in your pajamas, and the excuses will just melt away. So, question number 1, why do we make excuses and stand in the way of our own well-being and our life? And how does that happen? I mean, she does this every time we have a live. Waffle, shush, come here. Come here, come here. Why do we do that? Why do we create excuses when we know that this is something that's very, very important? I wonder if there's anybody who's watching this right now who thinks that exercise is a bad thing. Everybody knows smoking is bad for them. Does anybody feel that exercise is bad for them? Why do we work so hard to avoid it? Why do we have a long list of reasons why we don't need to do this today or for the rest of the year? We know it's good for us. And I'm, again, not talking about weight loss. I'm not talking about figure. I'm not talking about being slim. I'm talking about it being good for you in so many ways. Why do we then avoid it so much? Again, the reasons are endless. The reasons would be as diverse as just not being able to prioritize your time, or not holding yourself, frankly, not holding yourself to be as important as one should. Because like I said, if you don't have your health, you really don't have anything. If you think of it from that perspective, things change a little. Your perspective changes, doesn't it? You start thinking of this as something that you need to do. Yesterday we talked about how I equate exercise to brushing your teeth. It's not optional. You don't think about should I or should I not brush my teeth. Yeah, you may have a day when you just and run because you're late. Or there may be a day when you're really leisurely trying to whiten them. So you take a little longer. So that's how you treat your exercise. But you don't think about it as should I or should I not brush my teeth. Maybe I don't have time. I'm not going to do it. You do it. And that's the way you want to address your exercise and your physical fitness also. Now, just to summarize what I've been saying, working out has benefits that go beyond weight loss. So we're not talking about weight loss here. Exercising has benefits such as strength, which frankly everybody needs. If you carry a kid or you carry a laptop, my child is 7. I recently had an issue on Christmas night where we had gone out and we partied a little bit, and she was with us, and well, at a friend's place. When she came home, she was asleep. I'm very petite, so for me to carry her when she's fast asleep, and everybody who's got kids and who carries kids knows that when they're asleep, they're dead weight. They don't help you at all. You just have to lug them somehow or the other. And I had to walk from the gate up to my lift, and that was a struggle for me. I would not have managed it if I don't have the strength that I have. Imagine somebody else who had a weaker core, who had to do that even once. What kind of an impact it would have on your joint? What kind of an impact it would have on your back? Do you ever experience having to lift something heavy just once and then for a week and a half your lower back is paining? I'm sure everybody's been through that. I had a client who had a child who was younger. She was 3, I think. But she was in a carry me space. And she walked with her in a mall for an entire day with her on her hip, which they say is the worst way to carry your kid. And we don't have a system of baby wearing in India. It's becoming more popular now, but back then it wasn't. And she couldn't work out for the rest of the week because her back was aching so much and she didn't make that connection. And I asked her, did you carry your kid? And she's saying, oh yeah, that day we were walking in the mall and she just kept saying, carry me. And I figured, what could the harm be? It's not big. It could be the way she was carrying her, not that she was so heavy per se, but think about the requirement of the demand on your core, to hold you. It's a simple thing. It's like I go grocery shopping, I have to carry something home. I went out, I bought something big and heavy, and I had to bring it from my car to my door, and I pulled something. I have to reach from something from the cabinet, and I pulled something. So exercise gives you strength, and it's something that's measurable. Today I can do no pull-ups. Tomorrow I can do 2 pull-ups. My exercise, my upper body strength has improved. That's something that you can measure, right? It gives you flexibility. Why is flexibility important? A lot of people say, oh, it's just stretching. Flexibility is important because flexibility means that your muscle, once it's stretched, it has the ability to go back to its normal size easily and effectively, thereby allowing it to stretch again. Being inflexible, and it also supports other muscles. For instance, your hamstrings being flexible means you can bend down and touch your toes, means that it's supporting your lower back well. Your hamstrings being tight will put pressure on your lower back constantly and you'll never realize it. So working on your flexibility daily will be important for that reason. Cardiovascular strength and endurance, both extremely important, because that means that your heart, cardiovascular means your heart and your lungs, your entire circulatory system, the efficacy of the oxygen being drawn in to your organs and your blood, to your muscles, is improved by doing a daily workout. Just any strain on that system which causes your heart rate to rise a little bit allows it to work better, prevents heart disease in a long period of time, lowers the incidence of plaque in your arteries, which eventually would lead to narrowing of your arteries, high BP, and things such as a heart attack and a stroke. So, and muscular endurance means how long can you continue or sustain an activity like that. This is a weird experience. I had an experience because I've trained as a chef. So we were told as trainees, we were given the least pleasant tasks because they had to keep us entertained and occupied in the when we were doing our training in a hotel. So they used to give us silly things to do, like whip this much cream. And it's a lot of cream, and it's not an easy task at all. And if you have to keep doing that action till the cream is whipped to soft peaks, it could take up to 20 minutes because you're talking about a liter or two of cream. That requires muscular endurance. That muscle of mine has got to continue with that motion for a long, long time. And if I don't allow this muscle any strength, what else would I be using? I'd be using my neck, I'd be using my back. I would go in there and then my shoulders tuck. Why? Because the muscle that's supposed to be working is too weak. So your mind knows that you've got to follow that task through. You've been told to do this, so you have to do it. So you're going to keep doing it. The same principle applies to, say, doing crunches at a gym. Somebody tells you to do 100 crunches. I will do 100 crunches. I will have a flat stomach. But you don't have the endurance to sustain those 100 crunches at the optimum level. So what ends up happening? Your stomach muscles have long given up. Your neck is working. Your back is aching. And you say, you know what? I don't want to do crunches anymore. My neck hurts. Why? Because your core muscles have not developed what is called muscular endurance. It cannot sustain a movement for a long time. Those are important in all the muscles of your body because you're not designed to sit in one place. You're designed to do an activity for an extended period of time, physically. So all these parameters, think about it. If you work on your cardiovascular fitness, both strength and endurance, if you work on your muscular endurance, if you work on your strength, if you work on your flexibility, fifth and most important thing which people neglect is rest. If you're well rested, that means your muscles are able to work at their 100% the next morning. Your body is able to work at 100%. It's not being dragged in a worn out state. By rest, it could be active rest also. It could be like instead of doing a lot of cardio and weights, you just do a yoga class or a Pilates class, just a stretch or just a meditation. It's still exercise, but it's not as strenuous, or it doesn't work the same areas that you previously worked. You have all of these parameters taken care of. You work on your cardiovascular endurance, you work on your rest, you work on your strength, you work on your flexibility, you work on all of these things. Do you think that it is possible that you will not, by automatic conclusion, also lose weight? It is. You will lose weight by dieting alone, but it will have all these benefits? No, it will not. These are the benefits of even just 5 minutes of exercise every day. So, to summarize, today being day 2, yesterday we talked about not having any excuses, just turning up. Today, day 2, your +1 would be once you have shown up on that mat, 5 minutes of anything physical. It could contribute to your strength, it could contribute to your cardio, it could contribute to your rest, it could contribute to your relaxation, it could contribute to your flexibility. Just 5 minutes. Put it in, and now in the future you'll be joining me again for the remainder of our 21-day program. You will add to that. So that little bit is non-negotiable. So there will be a day when you will not have 10 minutes or 20 minutes or nothing. But this 5 minutes is going to be a chunk that you will not miss starting today onwards. Find a time that is least likely to have any disturbance. Don't fixate on it. Sometimes you don't get that time. Don't say, oh, I didn't work out at 6:30, so I don't work out the rest of the day. No. 5 minutes in your day you can find. So it has to be non-negotiable. If you schedule it in, great. If you miss the schedule and you need to do it another time during the day, do it. But do not let one single day go by without putting in those 5 minutes. That's all that's required. And it will be your step forward from yesterday, step forward to today. And even just those 5 minutes every day for 21 days, every day for 2 months, every day for 3 months, you will see benefits 100%. And you yourself will wonder, why can't I add a little bit more to this? I like this 5 minutes. Can I do 10? I like these 10 minutes. Can I do that? Oh, this activity is nice. Maybe I could do that instead. And you'll come up with better ideas. And eventually it will not be something that's painful and to be avoided at all costs, but something that you will do and you will look forward to because it makes you feel so good at the end of it. So that's all for me for today. If you have any queries, if you have any questions, if you want anything answered, if you want me to address a certain topic, I had a request from somebody yesterday who asked me, when I travel, what do I do? My workout and my diet both go for a toss. So we're going to have one live session in a couple of days. I think it's Thursday, where we will talk about what do you do when you travel a lot or when you're away for a while. How can you continue with some sort of exercise and fitness routine, and how will you be able to streamline your diet so that it doesn't go completely off the wagon. So we will discuss those topics. Any other questions you have, please leave it in the comment section below so I can address them. And my question to you at the beginning of this was, what reasons do you give yourself that have prevented you from following the fitness routine that you set for yourself or the diet you set for yourself? What reasons do you give yourself for not being at your optimum health? Everybody has them. Just ask yourself this question. Am I at my best physically? 100%. No? What reason comes to mind? And whatever that reason is, please write it down for me or mention it to me so that I have an idea of what reasons you give yourself. If you can discuss how we can sidestep those in the future. And that's all from me today. And have a great day, guys. And please find the time to put in your 5 minutes. And we'll discuss them tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye.